Thank you, Taylor, for coming on Sports Talk with C.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Finally, my bad. We're
It's
talking.
it's cool. We here. So tell me what it was like growing up in New Hampshire.
Yes. Well, I'm actually here right now. And it obviously was all I knew, so can't really compare it to anything, but I honestly loved it. I have a younger sister, so grew up here with her, just playing sports, kind of away from like the rush of like the city. Obviously now I'm in Boston, not so much of a rush. But it was definitely a good time growing up. Just like I was outside in nature, playing sports. But I will say it was definitely nice to leave New Hampshire and explore a little bit outside of like the Upper Valley. People be like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from New Hampshire. They're like, I don't know where that is. So it's
Well,
all good.
I'm from cold New England, so I definitely know where New Hampshire is.
Yeah.
So what was the reason that you played? I read that you played soccer and basketball.
Yeah. I again like always just grew up. It was me and my sisters. We were like the Soul sisters in town, and grew up like in a primarily like white community, but like it was like two little black kids like just playing soccer, running track. Like we did everything together. So played soccer, and like where I'm from, it's definitely a big soccer town.
Okay.
Like the surrounding towns, like any travel soccer, like anything like that, like basketball wise, just like wasn't that much talent or like access, like pretty much anything unless like you're going to like the YMCA hanging out. So when I was growing up, soccer was lightning soccer. That was like my first opportunity to play like something other than just like school, like kicking the ball around, stuff like that.
Right.
And I love soccer. If basketball were ever taken away from me, I would play soccer in a heartbeat.
All right. So what would you say, since you love soccer, has helped you the most in basketball?
I think that it's made me athletic outside of just my own game. I think like there are athletes that aren't athletic, and I'd consider myself an athlete who is also athletic. And I think by like playing soccer, I mean, if you looked at film from freshman year, you'd probably be like, this girl never played soccer with like when you're looking at my footwork. But I do think it helped with just like being in different environments. There's way more people on a team. Um, and I think it's important for players to be versatile. There's like all this stuff on Twitter right now with like prom and like one sport athletes. And I'm like, let the kids just play. Like go try literally everything.
I think it makes each sport like better. You're like when you run, bring that to the court with you. When you're playing soccer, your footwork, you're bringing that to the court with you. So I guess it's like it helps each other out. I mean, I guess it's because of injuries. They don't want you to hurt yourself for them.
Exactly. And like I get that because it's hard because I feel like so much so like at least collegiate sports has been such a business. Like it's not so much like as a kid you look at it and you're like, dang, like I want to be that good. Like this is my next step. But once you get there, they're like people being paid for like essentially like, you to work for them. Like I like to say it's sometimes the other way around. Like, hey man, if like I don't step on the court, like you're not coaching
Right.
anybody. But at the same time, like I think it's so important. Like kids are like 8 years old. Like you should be like outside, like hanging out, doing all this stuff, and they're like doing like all this training stuff. And I don't know. It's a I could talk about that for ages.
But
I'm
speaking
glad.
about that, like training and all that, what would you say that has changed most? I read that you played for Mass Rivals.
Mhm.
What would you say it has when you played AAU from now?
Uh,
Being, oh, I know you don't play, but looking on the outside.
it's hard now because like I hate to say like I'm old, but like when I look at it now, like I see exactly what like again like Twitter's saying. Like Twitter be like, oh, I went to this like the second session of like AU tournaments and like the kids didn't get any better. And it's like because when I was playing AU, we did like one-on-one drills on like in practice, we scrimmaged, we did like 5 minutes of ball handling at the beginning. Like you just go out and play. Like it's
Right.
like whoever's the biggest dog, like that's who's gonna win. And like my team won and like that worked, but I think now it's turned way more into like rightfully so and as it should like let's get these kids better at like their basketball IQ, like being a good teammate, stuff like that. Whereas like I don't think like when I was in AAU 5 years ago, it was like, yeah, let's like make sure her IQ's there.
Right.
Like where she should be defensively at the next level. It's like you got that block that was sick, like go on offense, like go one-on-one. So, but it's crazy.
It's a difference. I mean, I think there's more cameras now. When I look at it, I mean, I'm only a fan, but I see more cameras, more people there. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. In high school, I did see that you averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Is that when your basketball dream formed, or was it before that?
I think again, like just growing up in a small town, it was like, I'm good at this. Let's just like keep doing it. I think it was going into it was like the end of my sophomore season, I think it was. I was in an all-star game, and a girl on another team, Elamy, she went to like Proctor, played at Syracuse. She was like, hey, like my AU coach is here. He's watching you play, like wants to come down for a practice. And their practices are in Andover, Mass. And I'm like, I barely have my driver's license, and you're trying to tell me I have to go to basketball practice 2.5 hours away at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday and a Sunday. Like, okay, sure.
On school nights at that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I literally remember my mom having to drive me to that. I don't know, like that's crazy. But that was, I feel like, the first time when I was like, okay, like this whole soccer thing, it's working, but they're telling me I can go to like Georgia and like Tennessee, play some cool basketball. So like, why not? And so that was the first time. And there I played with like really good players. Like I got kids that they went to like URI, or Dayton, UConn, like top schools where I was like, dang, like if I can go to college for free, if I do this basketball thing, why not stick with it?
So would you say at that point, did you have anyone that you looked up to, or did you have anyone, would you say, that you would want to be like at that moment?
I think at that time it was literally just like be the best me I could be, like along with my teammates. Like we played up like 2 years. So we were always really young, and our coach was like, you guys are like the bum hicks from New England. You're going out there playing like FBC, like these girls from like Atlanta, Georgia. And like you walk in and like you just know, like there's the girls that you look at and you're like, damn, like they want to fight me. And you look at my team and it's like, I think they walked into the wrong tournament. Like for real, like so serious. And like we had dogs, but like we didn't look like it. And I think like my coach, he was always just like, you're here playing in front of all these coaches because of the people that were here before you. So now it's like, now it's your turn for not only yourself, but for those that came before you and those that come after you to like be great and to do great things. And by playing great basketball, you get the opportunity to go to college. So I think at the time it was kind of like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of getting emails about I got a tournament this weekend. Like, let me just go and have some fun. But yeah, nah, because I'm trying to think back. No, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Oh, I like that. You said you wanted to be the best you. So I think that's a great answer.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So you received an award for reaching your 1,000 points. Describe that feeling to me.
That was definitely a big accomplishment individually, like which is nice, but I think it go to show like the work that I put in, but also just like the trust that my teammates have that I built. Because 90% of those were all assisted. Like I ain't taking the ball, rebounding it, and going like the full length of the court. And so that just goes to show like what BC has done, because it had been a while. Last COVID year, we had 2 players, they got their 1,000 point, but it's not like BC's on the map for like producing 1,000 point score. So for me to do that, especially like in the first game of the season, definitely felt really good. And it was a little pat on the back, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it was even cooler to see like 2 more of my teammates do it after me.
Oh,
I thought that was way cool, because like how many times can you say like, oh yeah, we got 3,000 point scorers,
right?
So I thought that was pretty dope.
That's what's up. Speaking of BC, how was your whole recruitment process? How did you choose to decide to go to Boston College and play basketball?
Yeah. I think like it's crazy to think way back then. That was like 6 years ago. Like my young self was trying to be like, oh yeah, like where am I gonna go to school? And I'm glad I chose BC. It was good. Because like definitely looking back, it was like, wow, like I'm grateful to have like all these people that want to reach out to me, like talk to me. And at the time, you're really naive to like what's really going on. Like you don't quite understand the value of what a scholarship, especially one from like Boston College holds. And I think like once I started talking to like adults, and like, oh, where are you going to my Boston College? And like they light up before you even say anything about basketball, just because of how strong academics are. But it was really good for me. I think being only 2 hours, like 2.5 hours away, was nice just because like I could be home, but like it was definitely a different setting for me. And I got like a lot of friends in the area. And so to have like a support staff when you're like jumping into something, you have no idea what you're doing, was definitely good for me. And I had what we had my freshman year, we had the biggest freshman recruiting class in the entire country.
Oh wow.
We had 8 freshmen on our, do we have 15? We had 8 freshmen. We may have had like 14 girls on the team.
Oh wow.
So we had a roster. Yeah. Should have seen practice. It's crazy.
So as a going to a new school, well, new college, I should say, in a new setting for you, what would you say, how important is to have the best basketball coach? You know, because I know a lot of people say that they don't get along with their coach. They feel like their coach doesn't like them. How important is to have a basketball coach you get along with, part of picking a school?
Yeah, I think it's definitely important. Obviously, coaches come and go, but I do think that's the type of relationship that comes from like a lot of maturity and being like, I don't always have to like this person. I don't even have to like really agree with what they're saying. But if like I know where their intentions are coming from, like if I like know like where their heart's at, and if like we can communicate like and just like respect each other, like, hey, like this is what I'm gonna do, but like I'm gonna give you this on defense, and like you can like come to mutual agreements. I think it's really important to be able to have like those types of conversations with coaches and be like, hey, like I don't like how you spoke to me. I think there's like this false narrative right now that's like which is fair. I think there's a lot of times when like coaches and players get off on the wrong foot with communication, and people want to say players are soft and coaches don't coach the same. And I really just think it's like each individual player has to like find a coach where they can just talk and like find a way to like get the best out of each other. Cause I think like you're sacrificing a lot. Like you're not seeing your family, like you're not having like as much of a social environment that you might want to. Like you're getting yelled at while you're also trying your best. Like I think it's so important, like when like the going gets tough, that like you're leaning back on someone who like does control like your playing time, and you guys can like have that trust in each other, because 4 years goes by fast, but like a lot does happen.
And what would you say was your toughest collegiate moment?
Oof. I would say COVID year, ACC tournament. Our team played Duke, and we weren't supposed to be there, and we were running on fumes. But it was like we had everyone and their moms was cheering us on, and I hit like some really clutch free throws at the end, and like just have like I replayed that game maybe 8 times during COVID. Like it was insane, and it was just like seeing everyone supporting each other. Like when the buzzer went off, like everyone on Duke was like, what just happened? And like we got back to the hotel, and like the entire BC band was there. Everyone's parents were there. And we was acting like we won the entire thing. And like we still had a game the next day that we ended up losing. But it was like in that moment, I was like, yeah, like we did something right. Now that was probably like one of my best like individual moments, because like I was like, damn, I'm like that. It's like I got some ice.
I know that's right.
I'm a little sophomore with some ice in her veins. And obviously we got the team win.
Yes.
So
speaking of sophomore, that's when you were the ACC most improved that year. What was your like mindset going into your sophomore year after coming off of what, like you started in 20 games your freshman year?
I think going into the next year was just like honing on like who I already was. Like I already brought energy. Like I already could attack the basket, but it was like, okay, like hone that energy into being like a good leader. Like you don't just talk, but like the words that you're saying mean something. Like when you're out there, like you're aggressive, but you're aggressive in a way where it's like nobody can stop you. Like you don't need to trust a ref to call a foul. It's like make and call a foul, like control your body, stuff like that. So I think going into, I remember that summer, I think like my word was like patience. It was just like patience and poise on literally everything. It was like I already know that you're a great player, but like how can you make it so like you're unstoppable? And so I think going into that season, it was like, oh, again, me kind of just being naive and be like, okay, like every single day I'm gonna be in the gym, like for at least 10 minutes working on my footwork, working on the exact same move every single day, regardless if I'm tired. But still also just being like, just go out and play. Freshman year was too much rust freshman year.
Well, I guess so, because sophomore year kept you food. You led the team in scoring with 465 points. You've recorded 10 double doubles. So, like, what does keep you going during the season?
Just the next game, honestly. Like, there's always gonna be there's like living in the moment, but there also is like long-term goals. And sophomore year especially was definitely like a big goal for our team, was like, let's make it to the NCAA tournament. And so I knew if I was playing well offensively, if I was being a good teammate, if I was getting rebounds, like when I was getting double doubles, like good things were happening for our team. So like just being like we were so close to the finish line. I think that just motivated me the whole time. Was like, and I was having fun. Like I was having so much fun with my teammates because the year prior, we had no seniors, so it was the exact same team coming back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we just added two, and so I think we were just having so much fun, just like same team back at it, working on stuff. That was one of my favorite seasons, I think.
That's what's up. And if I could ask you during that sophomore year, how would you describe your game in one word?
I would describe it as problematic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
I think the confidence that I was playing with was like second to none, and like maybe a little, I think it was a little, what's the word, like I was even blind to some of the flaws that could have possibly been there. I was just like, I'm really good at basketball. I was like, I
I
got
know
it.
that's right.
I was like, I can tell y'all are scared to guard me, so I'm just gonna go out there and just like give it to anybody. And it was like, I wanted you to put your best player on me. Like I wanted you to like try to foul me, try to get in my head. Like if you were angry, like that sounds like a you problem. I was like, let me just go out there. Like I'll be a problem child for everybody, like but my team. And good things happen. So
I know that's right. And when you hear the word basketball, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Dang. Well, I feel like 10 words just came to my mind. Wow, the first word that came to my mind was like courage.
Ooh, I like that.
That ain't bad.
That's a good one. All right. See, come with that soul.
Yeah, exactly. See, you know what's up.
Okay. If a youngster, a young athletic baller, young athlete, regardless, came to you for a word of advice, what advice would you give them?
I'd say I think I probably would tell them to, one, breathe, two, like give yourself some grace, and three, know that you're never going to regret being a good person and working hard. That's something that our coach always told us. Like there's two things you're never going to regret. One's being a good person and the other one's working hard. Like your legs might hurt, but you definitely aren't going to regret like the gains that you just got. And breathe, just because like even sometimes I forget, like life, like I love basketball, but I've like there have been times in my life where things have happened where I'm just like, life is so much bigger than this game right now.
Mhm.
And like you're putting so much pressure on yourself for this one game because the media is watching, or like you got to make sure you get this amount of baskets so that you can keep like this percentage. And it's like you didn't start playing basketball because you cared about everyone else watching. Like you played basketball because you had fun. And so, especially when you're playing at such a high level, to like remember to like breathe, like be easy on yourself. Like I sometimes think like you're your biggest critique, your biggest critic, and that's not gonna be a good thing because it means you're being self-aware. But like especially when you're so young, it's like it's fine to make mistakes. Like I tell that to my underclassmen all the time. I'm like, I might be telling y'all to do something, but like I'll tell you straight up, like I also just messed that up. Like I know you just saw me miss that layup. I know you heard coach just yell at me because I wasn't talking on defense. And it's like that's fine. But I think it's how you respond rather than the initial like event itself.
Okay. Speaking of your own worst critic, where do you see yourself? Where's your goals in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years definitely is to graduate. That's step one. Had an exam today, so hopefully that went well.
You got it.
Yeah, but I think next 5 years definitely are to continue to make a name for myself basketball wise, just because like I work hard. I've been working hard, and like that's something like it didn't come as far as to like be like, hey, I did it. Like I want to be able to be like, yeah, no, I did that, and like people are gonna remember me for that. But I definitely think like 5 years down the line, like definitely hope to graduate. Definitely want to still be playing basketball at like really high level, and like get involved and like giving back in some type of way, whether it's like coaching, whether it's like mentorship, like something like that. I just feel like in 5 years, like I just want to keep growing on like what I'm already learning. I feel like this last year, like I become like a parent of like knowing stuff and it's been like, yeah, like let me just help people out. But I really do think like in the next 5 years, I'm excited.
That's what I'd like to hear.
Yeah.
Excitement. I wish you all the best in all your dreams. But before we go, I have to ask you, what is the most, well, what should I say? What are you looking forward to the most in this upcoming WNBA season?
I'm looking forward to just like the league itself to prove people wrong, talent wise, like attention wise, like game wise, like just like head down, just like do everything. Like I'm looking forward to hopefully somebody coming in and be like, let's expand the league. That would be great. But I really do think I have some friends that are in the league right now that just got drafted. Nice. And I'm just excited for them to like play and just like have them gain respect. I met soccer player Mia Hamm.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a 2-time gold medalist, and she was
nice.
Just like, got told all the time like we can't have this, and then they went and like won everything, and they're like looking at everyone and like, what are you gonna say now?
Right.
How are you gonna tell us like we're not gonna get paid enough because we can't do this, but we just proved that we can? And I'm just really excited for that to happen because the women have been shown repeatedly that they're good enough.
That is a fact.
Yeah. And I hope they can bring Brittany Griner home because that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes, it is. Yes, I hope so too. Sooner rather than later. And Taylor, I thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C.
Well, I thank you for having me on. If you ever need me, you know where to find me. We can talk. And you get back to my basketball game.
Hold on.